Hi, how you doing? It's Jeff Sinker from ScoutGuitarLessonsOnline.com. This week, I am going to be looking at the picking style of Joe Bonamassa. I've got a number of students who are big fans of Joe Bonamassa, and they've asked me if I could show them how to get that sound that Joe Bonamassa has when he plays. It's quite intense, very fast picking. Very reminiscent of Eric Johnson when you listen to his style of picking. The two, and it has been said before, are very close. But I wish someone would say that I sound like Eric Johnson. That would do me a favour. So let's break this down. I'm going to go through the different techniques that I have seen that are pretty dominant for Joe Bonamassa when he plays. There's two actually main picking actions that he likes to incorporate through his runs. Now, of course, he's got a lot of the classic kind of that style's going on there, but there are two other distinct patterns that he likes to use. A lot of times people could call it speed burst picking, which I've heard that term before, which again would be correct the way he's playing this. So what we're going to do, we're going to zoom in the cameras in a minute, and I'm going to go through these different styles. Now, of course, if you do enjoy this lesson, don't forget, click on the link down there, subscribe. It's always nice to have the support. If you've got the time, click on a few of the adverts, just helps a bit of revenue come through, and always helps me so I can continue to make more of these videos. Also, the tablature will be included on my website, so you'll be able to follow that through. What I would do, I'd recommend that you download the tablature prior to going through these different lessons, then you'll be able to follow note by note exactly what I'm doing. Well, enough of me talking. Let's get the cameras in close so you can see what I'm doing, and let me show you these techniques that Joe Bonamassa uses. So don't go away.
Preview.
So we've got the cameras in close now. So let me just go through one. It really is his key signature lick, this one. I'm going to break it down stage by stage, and then I'm going to show you how Joe Bonamassa, I don't really call him Joe, I don't really personally know the guy. I will show you how he expands this technique across the fretboard. Now, we're going to be playing this in A minor to start with, but of course all these different patterns that we're going to do, you can play them in various different keys, just moving them around. The opening section that I did, that was played in an A minor. Now let me just go through the first one. Now this is going to be using A minor pentatonic position 1. And I say that because you'll understand when I start to expand this. What we're going to be doing is this 5-note picking pattern. What he likes to do is he takes this 5-note picking pattern and then he plays this throughout the scale. So we got this. Kind of very typical what he's doing. So let me show you that. So we start off, and when I'm down here, I use my little finger on the 8th fret, down to first finger on the 5th fret, then I cross over to 8 on the B, down to 5 on the B, and then I finish on the 7 on the G. So we've got that. Now, of course, each one of them picks. Now, whether you want to use economy picking or alternating picking, it really is up to you. Of course, you can also start it with an up pick. Whereas if you are doing alternating picking, that really does work to get into that first one. Now, of course, you're going to be playing this quite a bit, so you've got to devise a method of playing this what works. I'm not saying you've got to follow my method, but you have to get these 5 notes. Now, these 5 notes are not played as 16ths or 8ths. He plays this in a burst. So over the beat of it, say over a beat of 1, he's going to be playing them 5 notes as the metronome's playing through. Now, what he does then, we move up to the B string, and we're going to play 7 on the B to 5 on the B, and keeping in the pentatonic shape, we're then going to play 7 on the G to the 5 on the G, and finish that line on 7 on the D. Then we go to the G string, and we're going to go back on that same pattern. So we're going to play G7 to G5 to D7 to D5, finishing on A7. So we get this. Now the final one can be played a number of different ways, but we're going to start off on the D string playing 7 to 5, down to the 7 on the A, to the 5. Now you can either bring your little finger across there to play 8 on the low E, or you can slide down to the 3rd on the A. Depends if you want to continue that down. So all together we have this. Remember I said there's always a group of 5. So it's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you play through. Now that is important because that gives that quality of sound when you're playing this. Of course, you can play it as 8s, but if you're trying to get that Joe Bonamassa sound, you do have to play it in these groups of 5. So you're going to have to start off slowly, there's no doubt. If you rush this, you'll tend to not really benefit. I know we all want to get playing though, we want to get playing that sound, but I really do recommend that you just work on getting each section and then work on that each time, and then you can start to piece them together. Don't go straight off just trying to play that. You'll end up playing it as 16ths or 8ths. So do get practice playing it as this little burst of 5 notes. To get that together. Now what Joe Bonamassa does, he takes different positions of the pentatonic scale and he plays them patterns over the different shapes. So of course I'm here and I've got normal position 1, relatively easy. What you saw in the opening piece that I did, I took A minor position number 4 and I played through. So if we think of A minor position number 4, we've got 15, 12, 15, 13, 14, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12. So what I was doing there was playing this 15, 12, 15, 13, 14. And then I was playing 50 on the B string, 15, 13, 14, 15, 14. So we would get that. And then I played the next one. So going across to that, I found it easier to come down to the 10. So that one's on the G. I'm doing a 14 to 12 to 14 on the D to 12D, sliding down to 10. So I would take the different positions. Like we can look at position number 2, A minor pentatonic. Yeah, I went down to position 1 because I do like to do that little slide there. But we're just learning to do the different bursts in all of them positions. Position number 3 again. And then we could start to build them up. And you will see Bonamassa doing that. I say it's part of his, really, this little burst of 5 notes really is a signature line for him. So let's have a look at pattern number 2, which again, very, very much used by Joe Bonamassa. Let me just play this through for you. Of course, we can play it in A minor. Let me just take this, let me just break it down first of all, show you what I'm doing. I'm starting off on the 7th fret on the G string. Then I cross it over to 5 on the B, to 8 on the B, then I go to 5 on the high E, and then 7, 8, back to 7, back to 8, then I go to 8 on the B, then I go back to the 7 on the high E, to the 5 on the E, going back to the 8 on the B, to 5 on the B, to finally back to 7 on the G. Now, that, again, when I've gone through a lot of the lines that he played, I hear that and I see that so many times. And then normally what he likes to do, once he's played that line a couple of times, he then goes back to that, little runs it out, using that classic, typical line as he's playing through. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that little lesson on the picking style of Joe Bonamassa. As I've said, you can go to my website and download the tablature for these licks. You'll be able to just follow it through. They're not too hard to play, but getting that pick to work, doing that alternating picking action and keeping up the speed and grouping them into 5 notes, that is where the practice has to be put in. You've got to get that sound of the 5 notes, and you can hear it from any of the Bonamassa live albums. You can hear him playing that line. It really is a signature kind of lick for him when you hear him playing. So don't forget, if you found this lesson useful, just click on that button, subscribe. There'll be more coming. I'm going to do a little bit more on Joe Bonamassa and also do some lessons just looking at some of his songs. So that's planned for the future. But until then, this is Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com, wishing you well, appreciate your company, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until then, goodbye.